Alex.
That would be my name.
Yeah.
Still, after all these years.
Yes. How long have I known you, man?
Let's say 4 years. That sound about right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right on. My question is, it has to do with zombie films.
Zombie films.
Yes, I'm a really big fan of zombie films.
Uh-huh.
I love George Romero, all of it, you know. Shaun of the Dead is one of my all-time favorites.
That makes one of us.
That makes one of us. So, what's your issue with zombie films? I mean, why that makes one of us? I mean, aren't you entertained? Are you not entertained? You know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Zombie films. I feel that these zombie films are a metaphor for the world that we're already living in. It's also a type of sixth sense thing that we're seeing with people, where art imitates life. Maybe not life as it currently is, but life in the future. So I think people are, on one level, tapping into something that is yet to come. Perhaps it could be a food crisis that causes a large amount of the population to become cannibalistic. But really, most of all, at the core, it's a metaphor for the ongoing reality. People that are apathetic, people that lose basic human emotions, or choose not to experience those human emotions. It seems really insane to me that we live in this type of society and world, but incrementally over time, conditions will cause people to act zombie-like to the stresses of the world going on. I don't think blaming economics is the right thing to do. When you see so many people lose the ability or choose not to make eye contact with someone else, it's more than economics. It's a sign of the times. It's zombie films are disturbing to me, though, in the sense that maybe not the films themselves, but the obsession with it.
Yeah.
Because
The
it's
national
one thing
obsession?
to be entertained.
You mean the national obsession? Like
Some
how-
could say international. You know,
Okay.
Japan had their own fascination with their own apocalypse of some sort of a meltdown of nuclear facilities and comic books for years and movies like
Sure.
Godzilla and whatnot.
I'm
Now
sure
it's
that after the
happening.
Fukushima
So-
stuff, there's going to be like Godzilla
Okay.
2.0, right?
So here's hitting the nail on the head. What you focus on increases. The dangerous thing about Hollywood is when certain films or plots come out, when you have enough people thinking about one thing at one particular point in time, it's magic. And they understand this more than I could even possibly conceive. And so when you have so many people, for example, focused on perhaps fear of an earthquake at a particular point in time, national level exercises involving millions of people, it's kind of disturbing because sometimes the question comes up, do they want certain things to happen? Certainly we know what the answer to that is when it comes to terrorism and those that benefit.
Oh, sure.
So when, say, Top Off 4 came to town, we had our own zombie apocalypse here in Portland, Oregon. We had people that were putting, like, fake glass, like, coming out of their face, was coming out of their side of their cheek,
You know,
and
Top
they had
Off
a
4,
whole...
let me tell people in YouTube land what that was.
Top Off 4.
Yeah, that was a very large war game where the federal government joined together with the local government here in Portland to pretend like a dirty bomb went off in one of our. It was by the Raceway, right?
It was by the Raceway, and they had kids from the high school. You talk about what you focus on increases. Doing fake crying and freaking out in front of the cameras, in front of the people with the press passes from the mainstream media. I was the only one with a independent pass, so I kind of got another take on it, another look at it.
Yeah.
Came away with another view on it because I was up there getting paid just to get a couple of cliff notes.
I went and kind of made the little warning bells go off with the security guards on the outside with my little camera. I walked out and got the attention of the security guards just to probe them, just to put it on YouTube, to, you know, shake things up a little bit, just because that's my thing.
And I saw that, and other than that video and a few others, you don't really see anything on Top Off 4 as far as people with their cameras because of a lack of interest, and the fact they had it in a lot of very controlled locations. It wasn't exactly like right out in the middle of downtown Portland with like helicopters flying over, although we have a lot of helicopters that fly over, but it wasn't like, boom, we're involved in a drill. A lot of people didn't not even know that it was going on.
Right,
It was
like,
not front page
I tried to
news.
talk to other Portland leaders,
Right.
you're right, and it went right over their heads. But
Randy Leonard told me he didn't know about Top Off 4. And so either he's lying or Top Off 4 has conveniently slipped his memory. A lot of people are concerned about Top Off 4 because they just don't see anything wrong with Homeland Security coming in and telling the PPD what to do. Because there's so much propaganda in the news about how we need Homeland Security.
I just connected in my mind what you're talking about. You're talking about the JTTF protest when you walked up to Randy Litter. I remember that now.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But you know what disturbs me most about the whole Top Off 4 thing in Portland? The thing that I found most disturbing that a lot of people didn't pick up on, Alex, it's a simple thing. They had something called Virtual News Network. When they had the Top Off 4 war exercise, the war game about the dirty bomb exploding, they actually practiced, the federal government practiced inserting fake news at the time of a disaster. I mean, it's just demented as far as I'm concerned.
Right now, Top Off 3 is there, so that can be viewed and watched in its entirety. And what you learn from Top Off 3 is that in this event, they're going to be looking for a white Al-Qaeda. Even before the well-known MSNBC Right-Wing America, Chris Matthews report, white America is rising up and all that propaganda, yada, yada, yada.
And all that stuff
we were seeing that in the Top Off 3 Virtual News Network script. Now, Top Off 4, I would love to see that CNN special. I would love to see the Virtual News Network talking about my own city and how they're going to plan to lie to us on the media when it happens. But, that's one tape they chose to not release to the public.
Now, yes, to get back to the zombie apocalypse, I agree with you, Alex. It is propaganda. I mean, anyone with the eyes to see can tell that they're basically destroying our economy in a controlled demolition similar to 9/11. But I think there are certain zombie films that illustrate the fact that the zombie apocalypse is already here. And allow me to illustrate. I think the best example of this being communicated through the art, through the filmmakers, is Shaun of the Dead. In the very beginning of the film, Shaun wakes up from a hangover after drinking the night before, and he's walking around, and he bumps into the same homeless guy he bumped into the morning before, except he's a zombie, and he doesn't know. And he walks by 3 or 4 zombies in the supermarket and whatnot, and he walked through the checkout, and Shaun didn't notice these people were zombies. So basically, it's a metaphor for the fact that people are walking through their lives in a subconscious sort of manner, just hand to mouth, acting without thinking, acting without engaging their cognitive processes. And that, to me, is a zombie apocalypse. So in a way, people are ignorantly walking through the real world, and they're the zombies. So the zombie apocalypse is already here, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the whole conversation with the zombie apocalypse is one that definitely should go on more than an hour. With, say, a panel and a national conference.
You get like 5 or 6 other commentators here like yourself and do it.
There's a number of places where I feel that it's coming from, although it has a similar root. And the similar root, or shall we say diseased root, is the very unsustainable, out of balance energetically planet that we're on.
Sure. And
how the way that we live, the way that we do business in this fiat currency that is collapsing, it has an effect on people, their sense of self, and their sense of the value of other self.
Sure.
And so here's the thing that becomes most disturbing when you add it all up. Okay, so the economy's imploding, they built up a police state, they staged 9/11, they maybe staged some other things to get a war with another country. We have all these things going on, and there's just this heavy zombie apocalypse propaganda. What's the consistent theme in all this zombie apocalypse propaganda? That we may one day have to go get something. There's no community in this.
Right.
There's no food storage. There's no growing food.
We have to get guns and hoard food and attack each other.
But the common theme is prepare to attack each other.
Sure.
Now here's what's even more disturbing about this is to see how much women have gotten involved in the zombie apocalypse pop culture aspect of our world. In Portland, Oregon, where a lot of people...
The Zombie Hookers film, for instance. You remember? No, Zombie Strippers. There was a film called Zombie Strippers.
Yes, there's also something else called zombie porn.
Oh,
there's even a zombie gay porn that was made in Los Angeles but rejected by New Zealand for some sort of a film festival. It was about some homosexual man that would rape zombies to bring them back to life. Here's the point.
Wow.
And there is this whole sexual nature to the zombie